again for Silversurfers, back with another idea. Now, I am going to show you an arrangement now that uses all one colour. And it is my favourite colour, green, which I never tire of, Anyway, so I have myself a nice bowl, and inside the bowl I have put some Oasis. I've rammed it in there because I don't want it rattling around, and I don't want to tape it in because I don't want the ugly tape showing. And just to recap on something we've talked about before, when you're soaking Oasis, please put the bucket of water down, put the blocks onto the Oasis and let it sink down slowly into the bucket. Done. Finish. Don't try and push it down because you'll create an airlock. Okay, so I've rammed it in, but this is the sort of thing which will dry out quite easily, especially in these hot summer months. So I'm going to drench mine with water because I've got a nice china pot, nothing's going to leak out of there, and that would just give it like it's sitting in water really, but I've got the framework of the Oasis to work with. Now, all green. Now, this is a treat because I haven't bought this. I have bought this from Covent Garden, I know, but I've got to show you some really lovely things as well as some really cheap things. And this is one of them. Now, this smells like summer. It's just got that freshness about it. And I am going to do something where we are going to block the varieties of flower. I'm not going to mix them all up. I'm going to have them all together as if they were grown in the garden, really. So, right, I'm going to start with right in the middle, pushing that down, maybe 3 inches. It's funny having to tell you word for word what I'm doing, because it's when you've done something for such a long time, it's all second nature, so it's quite funny to talk people through stuff. As you can see, I'm not a professional demonstrator. I didn't go on courses. Actually, I'm going to move that slightly. Now, although I've just done that, try your hardest not to do that, because if you keep making holes again and again in the Oasis will crumble and start sort of breaking up, and you don't want that. As you can see, I've clumped these together and had them in this upright style. And I've done it for a few reasons. A, because I quite like it, because it looks like the garden. B, because it's quite trendy to be like that. And three, I think it just works as an effect. So I have nipped out to the garden and got myself some Aralia leaves, and I'm going to put those in almost horizontally, so it's giving me sort of a basic sort of structure going round. And I don't want to hide the pot. I want to see the pot, but I definitely don't want to see the Oasis. And I think this gives it more of an anchoring, I would guess, if that makes at all sense, with my design of very high. Just, as I say, just cutting these and making sure about 2 inches or so goes into the Oasis. Okay, so I've got my up and I've got my out. Then I want to, what else did I have that was green? Oh yes, my Santini Chrysanthemum. Again, very great, quite trendy flower, this colour particularly. It can last 2 weeks at least at home, if not longer. If you keep changing the water and retrimming the stems, you'll get loads of length out of this. So a really good thing to buy, you know, on that flower stall. Don't think you'll see them in the supermarkets unless they're in a nick. No, you won't see them, I don't think. I always keep my beady eyes on what those supermarkets are showing. And they're quite good now. Used to be that they just sold lilies and roses and stuff, but now, you know, you can get lots of things at the supermarket now that never used to. I have my favourite supermarkets, but I'm probably not allowed to say that online on this video. Okay, so I'm sort of making a little bit of a circle going round with my chrysanthemum blooms. And some of them are up, slightly up, and some of them are down. Now I know I'm being a bit extravagant here, but some of you might be extravagant and you like it. So, and I've got to say, you know, in all the time I've been a florist, which is many years now, there are still flowers that are being sold at the same money as they were all those years ago, which is, it's pretty amazing really if you think with the inflation. But the flower market really has stood still a bit, so I don't think there's any cause to, you know, complain. So what else have I got green? Now this is a funny one. Don't see this very often, and it's called Green Trick. It's in here somewhere. Here we go. It's called Green Trick, and I thought it was quite a funky shape, and unfortunately I crushed the bunch and managed to break the stems, which wasn't very handy for this demonstration. However, rethink what I was going to do with them, and I will use them in a different way. Nothing wasted. So I think it must be like a Sweet William. The stem is exactly like a Sweet William, so I'm sure it is. This is a little trick for you. See the stem as it is there? See that nodule there? Never cut on the nodule. Cut below or above, but not on it. It doesn't help the drinking process. Right, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in low with all my broken bits, unfortunately, but still going to give me this wonderful lush. Well, I hope you're thinking it's lush. I think it's lush, but I'm just mad about green. A few years ago, I did a wedding where they met at Wimbledon. You know, they weren't ball boys, but they worked Wimbledon, and they met there, and they wanted a Wimbledon themed wedding. So I used these because they're just exactly like tennis balls. I think they went down a storm. Well, I hope they did. Right, I'm just going to pop these in. Oh, this is tricky, doing this at this angle. I think that's enough. I don't think I need any more of those green tricks. Or green things, or green trick. Now, to me, and this is a no-no, I can see the Oasis, and I don't want to see the Oasis. So I'm going to cut this Pittosporum, and I'm going to dig it in deep and hide all those ugly bits that you don't want to see. Funny enough, this is the sort of thing I might do first, hiding the Oasis with foliage, but I haven't done that today because I didn't think I really, I had a little more going on, as it were, with the different design. So I'm just popping those, tucking that deep. Don't really need it to show, but I need it to hide it. Cutting all those bits off. I had my first ever boss I will never forget her. Joy, her name was, when I started being a florist. And I dropped a bit of foliage like that on the floor. And she went, Kim, you use every last piece. Never waste a piece of foliage. And I quaked in my boots for a bit, but I realised that she was fabulous after that. I loved my first job. It was in a florist shop in South Ken. And I was working in marketing and I flipping hated it. Oh. I clock watch all the time, and I saw something on the telly once that was about a florist, and I thought, oh, I like the look of that. I'm going to have a go at that. Anyway, so I walked into this flower shop she said, oh, you're a bit old for a junior. I was only 20. I wasn't that old, and I said, oh, well, you know, I'll give it. She said, the money's not very good. And I went, okay, that's fine. Luckily, I had a boyfriend at the time that didn't mind buying my drinks for me. I married him in the end, which was quite good. And then I never looked back. Loved it. Now I'm lost now. I don't know what the front is. Just chatting too much. Oh, I reckon that is the front. Now, I could keep going, but I think that's enough. There you go. That's my sculptural flowers in just green, my favourite colour.